That's my point. And my point now becomes, what do we do? Okay. O nwere afia m post ulu na Facebook nna asị na nna achọ onye ya enye m dị afia. Enidili m afia so urgently. So I asked you now who they breathe. Anybody want breathe? I will tell you something. You may think it's easy. You know, it's easy to come to comment section and make noise. The thing is this, I love intellectual battle. It gives me joy. But the truth is this. Now, sometimes I keep short for 30 days. And I will be going through Facebook to see somebody that will do the same thing I'm doing. Nobody will do it. I will keep short. Nobody will do that same thing I'm doing. Nobody can dare. You know if you do them because Oboro is not your area. Okay? So that's why I ask who they breathe. If I say, okay, Mazidibia will not teach for 1 month now, I will be looking at Facebook to see if any of una with the comment section warriors will do the same thing. I no go see anybody. You know what? That is the most painful part of it. So the truth is that we are good at crucifying what we don't understand. Let me quote TB Joshua. TB Joshua said something. He said, what people don't understand, they talk about. Okay? When you don't understand something, somebody's asking me my source. My friend, actually. He's not even asking me out of disrespect. He just asked me my source. And I begin to explain that when Africans are asking for sources, we are the first person on earth to document our knowledge. Sweet Text the winner, I see your message. Just give me 5 minutes. Let me introduce the message. So when Africans documented their history, in Sumeria, you saw documentation of what we did. In Kemet, you saw documentation. At Ethiopia, you saw. The ones I begin to call places like Uturu. I don't know if you know where is Uturu. Uturu is in Imo State, Abi. And Okigwe, Ibuku, Lejansoka, Idueri, present day Aguleri, Eda. These places I mentioned for you. Nsoka Asad. Okay? Eda in Ebonyi. These places I mentioned for you are places we can find archaeological evidences of how our ancestors predated all these noisemakers. Now, the problem is this. You people don't understand what is called tectonic, what is it called? Tectonic plate. Uturu in Abia State, forgive me. So, do you know that 100 years to come, the one-story building in your village will be dwarf to an extent? The height of your one-story building in your village now will be swallowed to an extent that the height will not be like that of one-story building again. Why? Because the earth is rising. The topography of the earth is rising. That is how, if you want to find out what our ancestors left, you have to dig inside. But digging inside does not entail digging the remains of our ancestors, because to us, the body of our ancestors are holy. Okay? Now, yes, the pyramid of Enugu, not just the pyramid of Enugu, the pyramid at Idu, the one in Bini, the pyramid at Idu is still there. The pyramid at Udi is still there. So, now, for you to see how empty our brains are, including myself, because this is how I talk. When they excavated the Ibuku pot, which they called artifact, and I've given you scientific proof in my post, in my previous post, that those things assumed from Ibuku is not artistic work only, that they are scientific evidences which we use for DNA resequencing. I give you example, the chromosome solenoid. Now, someone gave you fact and figure, said, verify from the Ibuku. Verify from the Ibuku. Now, Nigeria as a whole allowed the Igbo nation as a whole, listen to my anger. The Igbo nation as a whole allowed the white man to take what was assumed from our land. They took it back home. I am certain they must have exchanged it. Then designed a prototype, returned it to Nigeria, and is now kept in Lagos. How can you keep something assumed from Ibuku that depicts the oldness of the Igbo people? How can you keep it in Lagos? Now, the madness I see in the comment section is this. All these young boys that knows how to comment, none of them have ever raised an advocacy to begin to query, why is the Ibuku excavation kept in Lagos? You've never raised an awareness. Someone is raising an awareness of what transpired in Ibuku. You are there as a social media warrior to give me that I'm quoting, I should quote you a source. And I quoted my source, the Akashic record, the Obiatolopa, the Alpha couples. It's obvious you don't know it. That is why you don't want to understand. It's obvious you don't know it. Because they've limited your scope of search to searching for things with your common, not knowing that there is an esoteric way our ancestors could retrieve data. If I say it in English language now, you clap for me. What is cloud computing? In information technology, ICT, what is cloud computing? Is it not the same Akashic record, the Obi Atolopa? When you upload your data and someone said it is saved in the cloud way, where does iPhone save something? Is it not in the iCloud? Where is that iCloud? How do you retrieve it in the iCloud? Our ancestors have been accessing the iCloud even before the advent of internet, because we are the interconnectivity of Earth. That was what Philip Emeagwali did. Philip Emeagwali gave them a mathematical algorithm that could decipher the interconnection. Okay? So this generation is so comfortable that you would not want to, you don't want to know. Everybody coming to my page already have a preconceived idea what you were taught in the in Christianity. For example, someone in the comment section is telling me, why will I say something about necromancy? If not for madness, and someone had the effrontery to tell you that in Deuteronomy 18 verse 11 that necromancy is a sin, you have the effrontery to swallow such nonsense. Someone came to your land, told you that necromancy is a sin, and you accepted. So if I quote necromancy as one of our Akashic ways of retrieving Obi Atolopa, you tell me I am a liar. How dare you? Who gave you the Torah? Who gave you that law in Deuteronomy 18:11? Who gave you that mindset? A people who knew that you are a spiritual being, that you are the gods that commanded astrology and astronomy. A people who understood the esotericism of the earth. A people who took our esotericism and made it free mainstream. Limited your knowledge. A people who took your knowledge and limited it to you. So somebody came to your land told you that your practices are evil, but they are utilizing it in their own way. You have the God to tell me, why will I quote necromancy? But if I quote cloud computing, you clap for me. Now the same thing, now packaging. Now they package another one and brought to you. Artificial intelligence. All of you are crapping. In Akwaka, artificial intelligence. Everybody AI. Mandi my AI. Mandi my febu AI. Ana Akwaka. But if an Igbo man tells you that we have AI, he will say it's a lie. Do you get my point? So you have the God to come to my page and tell me to quote my sources. But someone gave you Bible. You've never asked the person to quote sources. They gave you Bible for years. You did not challenge them to quote sources for you. I gave you a esoteric understanding of your ancestors. You're asking me to quote sources. Now I quoted sources. It's now obvious that you don't know my source. Ndo. Mama mapo nazo. Mapo nazo. Ndo. Ni dia bom. Icho use. Amo, mbano meba. So my anger becomes, sorry for the interruption, my baby was crying. Someone who is not reasoning in the same frequency with you. You have been so comfortable sleeping. I've been awake for so long in my lifetime. And I decided that this sleep, I need to put an end to this my sleep. How do I put an end to it? To question all the things they gave us. To question everything they gave us. I started the questioning with fact and figure. Now the problem now becomes, you want my scope of operation to conform with what the enemy wants you to have. How can you achieve that? The enemy who doesn't want you to evolve, how can they give you a possible template for you to evolve? Somebody said I should breastfeed. So the problem becomes, what is your problem? As in, are you so comfortable in your sleep that the matrix has covered your head, you don't want to reason? Eh? I love daring attitude though. I love daring attitude. But make your daring attitude to be very void of stupidity. Because if you are daring to a fault, if you are daring just to make noise, I call it ranting. How you ask me to quote my sources? I quoted my sources for you. You now found out that the sources I use is obviously beyond your scope of understanding. You become embattled and you begin to say, Haba, how dare you? Now, because I didn't quote you a book, let me tell you, I asked you people, everything written by Homer, the Homer, you know, the Greek Homer, was nothing of his own work. Julius Caesar, is it Julius? Oh, Alexandra, the one you call Alexandra the Great, gave him every prototype of our papyrus, the original copy of our papyrus, for him to copy it. The idiot copied it and wrote his name on it. Somebody copied your work and wrote his name to it. Somebody copied what your ancestors did, because we are the ancestors. If you are looking for ancestors, this is you and I. But some of us, mind you that even in the time of our ancestors, there are some dumb ones. Don't forget. So it's not a mistake that the dumb ones are still reincarnating. That's why when we are asking daring question, they see it as if to say we are challenging the matrix. Now, I give you example in my teaching on etymology, which I've always referred you people to. The origin of everything. How could somebody come to your land, took your work, without giving you credit? You know, they shock you if you open English dictionary. You read a word, something like school. They will tell you that the etymology of the word school is from the Greek word. Who gave the Greek what they know, if not us? Now you ask me, what is my sources? I gave you a hint. Just only one tip I give you now. I just quoted one source. Just because someone has reprogrammed your brain to conform to limited scope. How dare you tell me that Deuteronomy 18 said, Deuteronomy 18:11, thou shalt not practice necromancy. Let me shock you. What did Saul do in the Bible? The same Saul in your Bible practiced necromancy. Saul assumed this, went and called upon the spirit of Samuel. Is that not necromancy? Now let me shock you again. During the transfiguration of Jesus, how many persons appeared? Moses and Elijah and Moses Abihu appeared to Jesus during his transfiguration. Is that not necromancy? You are clapping that Jesus transfigured. And Peter was asking him, shall I build 3 boats for you? One for you, one for Moses, and one for Abraham. You are clapping. Oh, Jesus transfigured. Is that not necromancy in plain sight? When the dead man rose from his grave to talk to Jesus, is that not practical necromancy? But because it is coming from a fellow person who is black like you, because it's coming from a man who is in your age bracket, because it's coming from a person that looks the same skin color, now I begin to ask you people, are we so comfortable in the programming that we don't want to wake up? You should have allowed me to continue the thread in peace. But I know this video will correct. Now, in the Vatican City, about 68 miles of building is where they kept our own records. They don't want to release it. Ancient alchemy, ancient documentation. And someone amongst you is daring them, giving you crucibles, because we never even start. All this one, what would they see now? Just, I not to go bello. We just, because I tweet no bogaju. We are giving you crucibles of what was hidden from you. You are telling me, quote my sources. You seem Nagaba, you quote my sources. You are asking me to quote my sources, but the Bible for 40 years, Igbo Bible, you go to the sources. You've never proved the sources of the Bible. You accepted it as the Lord and personal Savior. They gave you Jesus. You did not ask them to quote sources. They gave you Yahweh. You did not ask them to quote sources. They gave you Jehovah. You didn't ask them to quote sources. Mazidibia just gave you a tip of what our ancestors knew. You have the effrontery to tell me to quote sources. Yes. Why should it be you? A small boy like you, Mazi. Why should it be you? That is what is happening to their brains. Like, they don't believe him. Why should it be this young man that is daring us like this? Quote sources. I quoted the Akashic record, the Obiatolopa, the Alpha Corpus, the intrinsic knowledge of our own cloud, iCloud. I don't want this message to be long. This is where I'll draw my carpet. Let's go back to the post and continue our thread. So we wait for people that say quote sources. We give them. Olukwambaye I made video. I don't want it to be long so that you can share. Necromancy, one of the holiest way we found out what transpired in the time past. Somebody gave you the Bible, say don't practice necromancy, astronomy, astrology. Without this knowledge, the world cannot evolve. Science and technology is built on this foundational knowledge. Without witchcraft, no invention on earth. Quote me, Kyo ED. So where is the witchcraft in you? The Igbo people, our ancient Africans, could condone to necromancy to even find out what led to the death. If a man is looking for an information from the father, he will go to necromancy, assume knowledge is from the father. Let's learn to stay humble. If you don't understand the thing, ignore it. Stop showing yourself in the comment section. If I keep quiet and said, okay, let me see what you will do, I will check your page. You are not doing nothing. But all need a mass in a post. Then a comment. This is where I pause for now. Search for thyself. If anybody is telling you that necromancy is evil, tell him I said you should leave it for me. Kyo ED. KMSN.